No. Good morning, everybody. I'm Ed Parcaut. I'm a little slow today. It must be cold in here. I'm here with Mike Kelly, and we're Real Estate Jerky Daily.
And I'm adjusting where I am located on the screen, so I'm alive.
Yeah, that's good. Late but alive.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm late. It happens.
All right. So where do we want to get going first?
What do you want? What do you got?
I got today is mortgage applications. That's the really big numbers today. Mortgage applications for last week showing a purchase rose 8% after rising 9% the week before, and now are down 18% year over year. That sounds a lot less because a year ago we were down.
Yeah.
Refinances fell last week 7% and are now down 8% from last year because there was none.
So it could only fall down.
Right. Yeah. So if it was 10%, that means two less ones were done. Rates are where they're at. They're going to focus here until we start seeing, the leading indicator still says we have a recession coming. That's what we talked about yesterday. Right. Reuters, or however you say that poll, they looked at economists. There's the word I'm trying for.
Reuters poll of economists.
Yeah. They asked them. And they said the Fed will start cutting rates in second quarter. And there was a bunch of different percentages, but the biggest percentage was 44% say Fed's going to cut rates in June.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's the third quarter.
Let's see, January, February, March, April, May, June. That's the second
end
quarter.
Of the second quarter.
It's in the second quarter.
It's the end of it.
The end would be the 30th of June.
Yes. Okay, well, that's interesting.
Yeah. So long story short, nobody really knows what's going on.
Right.
And then before I get into the next thing, I saw a bunch of articles on Google News today. Fortune billionaire CEO sees $1 trillion in commercial real estate defaults coming very, very, very soon. Another marketing expert that was on Fox Business says the real estate, which is the commercial, is a slow moving train wreck. Business Insider's commercial real estate prices to plunge total 20% as sector finally cracks. So people are thinking the commercial market's really going to go down.
Yeah.
I don't think our area is going to go down because we don't have a ton of office buildings and people leaving because of, people defecating on the sidewalks, all the stuff that you have in San Francisco.
Is it the poo-poos?
And, but there are going to be some places and they'll probably turn them into residential.
Yeah.
So did you want to talk about since I just went to residential?
Let's talk about, you want to talk about residential numbers before I talk about what may increase some inventory here a little bit?
Right. But there's one thing I want to talk about. So I got a text last night. What's this new joint VA program?
Oh yeah. What is that?
There isn't. Okay. It's been around forever. Ever for me is more than 2 years.
Okay.
So whenever somebody asks me, can a veteran be on a loan with a non-spouse or another veteran, I would say no. You can technically do it's some places will do them. I mean, like it's like manual underwriting,
right?
There's only a handful of places I'll do it because you have to go to VA to get it underwritten by them and endorsed by them, and then it comes back and it's a lot of risk for a seller of mortgages who do VA loans. So a lot of places don't do them. And it's not a new program, it's been around. You can do it, but what happens is the veteran and then the non-veteran, it's split in 50%.
Oh,
so this veteran he gets 100% financing, no big deal. The other one could have to put down 12.5%.
Okay.
So why do it?
Yeah, why do it?
So, and it makes no sense. They used to call it a shotgun loan because it was always the veteran and their fiance.
Right.
So they were like, just go to the court and get married.
Yeah.
And then you can do 100% financing and use everybody's numbers.
Right.
And so it's out there, but somebody had stated on a video last night on Facebook that it was a new program and it's out there for this and it's out for that. So I'm getting texts from all these people like, so-and-so said this. I'm like, here's the program.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not new.
Well, it's not that. It's just new. I don't know if you, as veterans, when you get a house, and you have your VA loan, you start getting all these mailers in the thing going, we have a new program. It's a IRL. I mean, the one's been around since VA started the program, but it's new to them. So maybe it was new to him. Maybe it was the first time, or maybe the company he works for, but I know he's a broker, has it or whatever. They just heard about it. And I said, well, maybe it's new to them, but it's not really new. And do people really want to do a joint VA loan? everybody I talk to on my wholesale side is like, I don't do them. I'm
Yeah.
still waiting for 3 other people to get back to me, but I'm guarantee they're going
to say the same thing.
Well, it's like this. VA doesn't have a FICO score.
Right.
But the people who do the loans and then sell them off, they go, this is our minimum 580.
Yeah. So it's an overlay.
Yeah. So the question really is, who's going to want to buy these? It's a lot of risk, and a lot of the places don't want to deal with it.
I get you.
So I just wanted to say that. So it is out there. He was correct about that. It wasn't new, but do you really want to do it? And it's not that you can just give it to your kids to do it. You have to, the vet has to be on there.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So either marry the dude or the gal.
Right. And if it's, because there's a lot of times that 2 veterans will buy a piece of property together and they have to use both their eligibility. You don't actually have to do that anymore. Only one has to use their eligibility. Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But because they're both vets?
Yeah, because they're married. So why do you have to use your, now if they're not married, then they would use them.
Right.
So,
okay. So it's not old. I mean, it's not new.
Well, not as much like they were saying, but I hear all the time, I got this new Earl for you.
Well, in this day and age, everybody's pulling up old stuff that making it sound like it's new, and
to get people to contact them
interested.
Yeah. And if you want more information on it, just say yes in the comments. And I was like, there's no comments. And I'm not picking. I got hounded by the phone calls from people who know that I know VA loans, and I do a lot of business with people who want to know. And I'm like, okay, because it would be great if that's the way it was, where you could buy a piece of property and the veteran and somebody else, and you would use just the veteran. You could use the income of the other person, and that's great. But it doesn't work that way. Exactly that way.
Cool. Well, let's wait for the numbers. I want to say one thing. There's a new subdivision that will be coming into town.
You were at the council meeting last night?
I was at the Modesto City Council meeting last night, and they unanimously voted to rezone what was originally zoned commercial along Claus, north of Briggsmore, out by the railway station,
across from the other one,
all the way up to Sylvan. 84.1 acres, which will bring 527 single family homes and 2 parks and, all the niceties, even some bike trails. Anyway, D.R. Horton, who's the developer, was out there, and Otto Katrina, a very good friend of mine and past president of California Association of Realtors, gave me a call and said, we'd like you there if you would help support and or talk positively about the increase of new homes in Modesto. And I said, absolutely, I'll go out and speak. And, the council received D.R. Horton very well. D.R. Horton put a great program together. City staff put a great program together as well. And it was a no-brainer to just say, yeah, let's rezone this and hopefully start building near the end of 24, 25, or beginning of 25. So 527 new homes. That's a drop in the bucket for what's needed.
Right. We need 1,000 a year at least.
At least it's
more than
527 new homes. That's cool.
Right. That's right. It's more than we had before.
Probably will start in the 4s. My guess is that by the time it's the end of January or end of 24, it'll be beginning in the 5s. But hey, 1,500 to 1,900 square feet, 4 different floor plans. Kind of exciting.
Yeah, we need that. We need more because people aren't going to be putting their houses on the market.
Well, and in here, let's look at this.
Well, hold on. Back up a second before you go there.
Oh, okay.
Did you have to speak?
Yeah, I didn't have to, but I chose to.
No, I mean, did you stand up there and speak? Because they wanted you to speak. And what did you say? We need this. Thank you. I'm going to sit down.
Well, I'm going to speak as a realtor. I brought them to what our last week's numbers were: 278 active listings in Stanislaus County, all of Stanislaus County. And so I talked about that, the lack of inventory, that 527 new homes is fantastic, but it's also a drop in the bucket of what's needed. And what they need to think about is that 527 homes may free up a couple hundred homes in Modesto area for those people who are either buying down or buying up from what they currently own, and most likely their homes will go on the market. So it'll just snowball. And then that also relinquishes people who are moving out of apartments, maybe into new construction or to one of those smaller homes that will be selling for those sellers to move into new construction. So the trickle down effect is pretty large. and the trickle up effect is pretty large. So, but again, 527 homes, really a drop in a bucket of what we need, but exciting news.
No, it's better than nothing.
Right, absolutely.
All right. So what's the numbers today?
So I shared with City Council last night that as of last Wednesday, we currently had 278 active listings in all of Stanislaus County, and woohoo, we have moved up to 381.
Wow.
Wow.
Damn.
And
if we were reporters, we would be using some major words right now. Yeah.
Surges. The listings are surging forward in 2024.
We had a surge of listings this week.
But we have not had a surge of closings. I think we were in the 130s last week, weren't we?
Yeah, we were not that much.
140.
Maybe it was 105. I remember 105 at one
point. Okay, that could be it. It's hard to remember all those numbers after a whole week of sleeps. But I mean, I'm encouraged by the number of listings. I was thinking by the end of this month we'd be in the 400s, and it looks like we'll reach there. But still low.
Lower than we need. We need
lower than what we need.
But it's better. It's better than it was.
Well, this just indicates that the opportunity bubble will be is still kind of there, but will be bursting fairly soon, and it ensures against a crash. I don't see a crash. I know you don't see a crash if there's no inventory. So there you got it.
There's no crash. The only crash is the opportunity bubble.
Yeah, or driving like an idiot in the rain this morning.
Since we're still on housing, Florida, the theme parks are creating housing for their employees.
Workforce housing. Okay,
because they're people. Because if you look at the average tenant in Florida region, saw their monthly rent jump $600 over a 3-year period, which for us that's probably what we had here.
Yep.
But most of the people working the theme parks are in the I would say lower income numbers
range, and they can't absorb that increase.
There's only 15 units for every 100 extremely low income people.
Wow.
So that means there's not much rentals for those.
People are shacking up with other people and or living in a car
or a trailer.
Yeah.
So Universal Studios Florida and Walt Disney World Universal Studios employees are the owners of a park that's seeking to construct 1,000-unit mixed-use developments stated to open in 2026 for their people.
Wow.
And then, because they employ, let me move this up because that's where it should have been there first. They 110,000 people.
So 1,000 is a beginning.
110,000 people work there. Yeah, both places. And then Disney is looking into housing and announced that it donated 80 acres for a proposed 1,450 unit affordable development.
So 2,450 people out of those 110,000 will have a place to live.
Correct. Well, the question is how many of those people, 110,000, are in the lower income that need to rent? 65, 70%.
Yeah. So it'll free up 2,450 apartments.
Right. Or trailers.
Yeah, or trailers.
All right. So since we're on housing, this whole thing is about housing today. Baby boomers.
Uh-oh.
So they did a survey, and most baby boomers are living in a time capsule that needs renovation, and because they're going to stay and they're going to age in place, right? So basically, the houses they're going to be in, they're going to stay in. 50% of them, so 55% of surveyed baby boomers plan to remain in their existing homes as they age, but less than a quarter of those surveyed have any plans to renovate the homes for more health and safety issues.
Huh. I wonder
handrail, bathtubs,
pull-up bars,
all those things,
and then probably a new CD player so they can quit listening to Foreigner and Night Ranger
on their 8-track. So if you look, and most of the homes were built in the 1980s or earlier that they're in.
Yeah.
But what's happening is when millennials and younger generations go to buy these houses, there's going to be a looming underinvestment crisis that looms in the future. So deferred maintenance and a bunch of other stuff.
Oh, yeah. Well, I just couldn't get to that. My back doesn't let me do these things anymore.
Yeah. So 75% of baby boomers responded that they have never added safety or accessibility features to their homes, while 81% of them report planning to leave an inheritance of some kind. Focus on yourself, not your kids. You've done a lot. You raised them. You taught them right and wrong.
Yep.
And time for them to get on their own.
Yeah. Hopefully they're not in prison and they're on their own, being successful. They're not living on the street.
Living on a prayer.
Yeah, living on a prayer. Who sang that?
Was that John Vogue?
No, I don't
Bon,
think so.
John
John Bon Jovi.
Yeah, I think I can say
Bon John Jovi.
Yeah, I never listened to him, so I
Yeah,
couldn't tell you.
I listened to him only when they played his
Alexa,
records
who
and
played Living on a Prayer?
the records are, huh? Alexa?
I don't think she heard me.
She
Alexa, who plays the song Living on a Prayer?
Living on a Prayer is by Bon Jovi.
I was right.
You were so right.
Yes.
I only had one guy that worked at Record Factory that played that thing constantly.
I can see the video.
Yeah.
Yeah. Video killed the radio star.
Oh, they really did.
Not talk radio star, but
for 4.5 months.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good Wednesday.
Yeah. So there's a bunch of, great news coming out. We're getting more properties in Modesto, but over time we'll have more properties. I looked at my schedule besides on my video thing today. I have so many people I got to finish qualifying and new people sending their stuff. So yeah, it's been a good week. I hope it stays like this, because this is like you qualify them, then they go look, and then they can't find anything.
Right. They get disheartened, and then they wind up with the last realtor or loan officer they were standing in front of, and they still don't buy anything.
Right. There was something I wanted to talk about one of my clients, what to remember not to do. And I'm trying to remember what it was, but I tell you, I have to start putting it in
get off the call list.
No, that's everybody. What we all do, soft pulls,
right?
So don't go with a lender who does a hard pull from the beginning, because that's just going to crazy. You can do a soft pull multiple times while you're doing stuff, and it's not going to affect your FICO score, not going to affect anything. We can see everything. And then right before we close, we do the hard pull. The only negative to that is if during that period of time you get a late payment or do something else, we're going to know about it.
Yeah.
So that's the only downside. Because when we run a credit hard pull, it's good for up to 120 days. 120 days.
Wow.
Same as 120. Yes. It's the same thing.
120. I just like saying 120.
120.
Yeah.
I talked to a guy yesterday who had been talking to multiple lenders. You got to stop talking to multiple lenders. Find a couple, trust them.
I would think it would be just a lot of noise.
Well, they're all giving them different information on how to fix his credit. And he's, I'm getting ready to do a rapid rescore. I go on because him and his fiance got to do it, because that's the best way to do it. They tried to have their family, but they all have so much debt and everything else.
Okay.
And I said, well, before you do that rapid rescore, what are we trying to do? And I said, well, then this is still going to work probably for about another 8 to 9 months. And if Fannie and Freddie hears me, I'm going to get in trouble. Is adding your kid onto your credit card as an authorized user will give them more credit and everything else, because she has a lot of debt that they want to pay down. I said, before you do spend 10 grand and take away from the 30 grand you have
to put down,
plus closing costs and everything else, why don't you see if this works first?
Right.
And I told them what to do. And so that's what they're going to do, and then get back to me.
Cool.
That's not what I was going to talk about. Something else that you have to be careful with. And it's, one of those things. What are you going to do? I guess I got to get Koboba or some of those.
Ginkgo biloba.
Something or Alpha Brain.
Yeah. Joe Rogan's Alpha Brain.
Actually, the problem is a middle of the night, I'm like sleeping, and then like something's pushing me. I'm like dreaming. I was like, what's push? And I wake up. George is on our bed, which is never on our bed.
Yeah.
And he's trying to get close to me. And it's like, okay, there's your problem, buddy. Should have stayed down at the end, because now get off.
Yeah.
And then he was having needs, and I was like, oh. So this is like 4:00. So I walk into the living room. He wants to go outside.
Yeah.
So I turn off the alarm, let him outside. Then he's so much happier and went back to bed.
Yeah.
But that's why I'm kind of out of it this morning.
I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
And it wasn't like I got up that time to work out, because I work out 11 through 1.
Yeah, you work out later in the day.
I like lunch.
I just see that as a realtor, if you get your workout done in the morning, it's done. And then you're available for all the craziness that happens during the day.
I think, well, most of my stuff is later in the day.
Yeah.
Now, it's like and you forget. You try to be there all day, do all work all day, and then okay, and then next thing you know, it's like 7:30 at night. You're still talking to people and everything else. And Tuesdays and Thursdays are my late nights.
Ooh, and that was last night.
Yeah. Well, I also had the 5:00 rotary thing that I do, the 5220.
Oh,
yeah.
How'd that go?
That was all right. It's with the district governor. We talk about a couple of things and move on.
Cool.
So yeah, it's pretty good.
Talk about the upcoming pets.
Yeah. Hey, let me ride with you. Nope.
I I'm
going
not
to be there
staying.
longer.
You're staying all day. I will not be there all
No,
day.
not this time. And then he was talking about how this time last year we were like, we have so much more time to get before we start. And now we're like, oh, we're almost over.
Yeah.
Because when that happens, we'll have 5 months left.
True.
So, and you'll have 5 months before you start.
Yeah. And putting things in place there. It's all be there when I get there. Hopefully.
Yeah. Oh, maybe it was about self-employment. I just want to talk real quick.
Oh,
so
okay.
if you go from W-2 to self-employment and it's not something you've done for a while, you're going to need 2 years of it. And if you write off everything under the sun, you're not going to qualify
because you don't make any money on paper.
We'll have to do a bank statement, and that's not like the best deal, right? That's because I have a lady now who is a massage therapist. Who, she's her thing is $4,200. I guarantee you, by the time I look at her tax return, that thing's going to be like $20,000 or $15,000
for the year.
Yeah.
Because
everybody talks about what their business brings in,
right,
as self-employment, but they don't talk about after they write everything off what that number is. That's what we look at.
And is it possible, or how hard is it for the corporation to buy something?
Corporation is different. This is a Schedule C. A corporation is totally different when you come with that. That's a totally different animal, whether it's a Schedule C or Schedule S.
Right.
Schedule S comes right through, and you get that, that little K1, where a corporation you do not.
Gotcha.
I mean, a Schedule C you do not.
Gotcha.
So it's, and I need these numbers before I can answer, because what happens? I had a guy who was on long-term disability, and then he went back to work as electrician, but he decided to open his own business
as an electrician.
Yeah, first year they lost 17,000. Second year they made 22,000. The question is, what are you making this year?
Right.
And what we do is perfect time for most people to buy and look at this thing as right now, because before you write everything off under the sun and you can't qualify again, maybe you shouldn't write off everything, so you leave enough money so you can qualify.
That makes sense.
And that's why it's good time right now to do that. Then you can go ahead and file in April, and then when they find more receipts, they can always do an amendment.
That's why when you are putting your business together and you think you want to purchase later on down the road, sit down with a loan officer, sit down with a knowledgeable lender, and figure out a game plan for the future.
Yeah, buy now, then go start the business.
Yeah, that's a thought.
Yeah, or like this electrician, it's like, go work for somebody for a month, or two, and then go back to your business.
There you go.
Because I had an architect who couldn't qualify for anything because he only showed 30 grand in income, and he wanted this house so badly. I said, well, if you went to work for somebody, whatever their wages they pay you, I get to use right away because you've been in business for 2 years. It's only the opposite way. All right. So if you go self-employed, you have to have 2 years. If you go from self-employed to W-2, I can use the first paycheck going forward. He went and got a job. He was making 120 grand a year. His wife was like, thank you so much for making him get a job. Our life is so much better. I didn't make him. I just said, it's the better.
You want to buy this house. This is what you should do. So you're a marriage counselor.
Right. And 5 years later, he then went back and started his own business. And, it was.
And everything's good.
Yeah. At that point, all his contracts were done with that other company. So it works. Yeah. So I'm done. There we go. We talked for too long. 23 minutes. We gotta get to radio.
We're late.
All right, everybody, make it a great day. Thanks for being here. Hopefully we gave you some information, and I hope I didn't offend many people.
I hope I offended. If I didn't offend you yet, I'll get to you.
What are you, Nanu?
Have a great day. Wednesday is the day.
Huh?
Bye.
Bye.